1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Humayun Zebabasi. First, the headlines. Prime Minister and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi held extensive consultations on a range of bilateral, regional and international issues in Abu Dhabi today. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have agreed on the need to achieve security and stability in Afghanistan to prevent the use of Afghan land as a shelter for terrorist groups. President and Prime Minister, in their separate messages on International Labour Day, have reiterated Pakistan's commitment to provide enabling environment to all workers and their families. The Central Ruwat-e-Hilal Committee meets in Islamabad in a short while for sighting the crescent of Shawwal 1443 after Hijrat. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, occupying troops in their unabated acts of state terrorism murdered 26 Kashmiris, destroyed dozens of houses in single month of April last. And Afghanistan's Supreme Leader, in a rare appearance on Eid al-Fitr, has congratulated people on success and hailed security situation in the country. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif met with Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in Abu Dhabi. The two leaders held extensive consultations on a range of bilateral, regional and international issues. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have agreed to strengthen cooperation in investment, industrial and mining sectors. A joint declaration issued at the consultation of three-day official visit to Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to Saudi Arabia said the two sides agreed to stimulate partnership and enable investment integration opportunities between private sectors of the two countries. Both the countries also stressed the importance of strengthening work through the Saudi-Pakistan Supreme Coordination Council for diversifying the mutual trade exchanges. The two sides discussed developments of the Palestinian cause and stressed the importance of preventing the status and Islamic character of Al-Quds, Al-Sharif in the Arab and Islamic nations and achieving comprehensive and just peace in accordance with the relevant resolutions of international legitimacy and the Arab Peace Initiative, which guarantees the right of the Palestinian people to establish their independent state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. The two sides discussed the latest developments in Afghanistan and agreed on the need to achieve security and stability and to prevent the use of Afghan land as a shelter for terrorist groups. The hope that the Russian and Ukrainian sides would reach a political solution to end the crisis, achieve security and stability, and limit negative repercussions at the regional and international levels. International Labour Day is being observed today with the theme of Act Together to build a positive safety and health culture, according to International Labour Organization. The day is being observed as a World Day for Safety and Health at Work to commemorate the services and sacrifice of workers across the world and encourage them to be aware of their rights. President Dr. Arif Alvi and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif in their separate messages on International Labour Day have reiterated Pakistan's commitment to provide enabling environment to all workers and their families. The President in his message said this day symbolizes the strength, character, talent and dedication of Pakistani workforce towards making our country a prosperous and progressive nation in the world. He said Pakistan reiterates its commitment to provide an enabling environment and a higher standard of living for all workers and their families. The Prime Minister in his message said his government will improve working conditions of workers in accordance with Islamic teachings, the Constitution of Pakistan and international standards. Chairman Pakistan Ulama Council Maulana Tahir Mahmood Ashrafi has condemned the derogatory remarks passed against Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and his delegation at Masjid-e-Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Addressing a news conference Islamabad today, he said what transpired at Masjid Nabwi is against the preaching of Islam. He said it was a planned act. Tahir Ashrafi said misbehaving with Minister for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb and Minister for Narcotics Control Nawab Zada Shahzeen Bukti cannot be justified. He said statements of former Prime Minister Imran Khan and PTI leaders have hurt emotional people. The Central Ruwat-e-Hilal Committee will meet in Islamabad this evening for sighting the crescent of Shawwal 1443 after Hijrat. Chairman of the Central Ruwat-e-Hilal Committee, Maulana Sayyid Abdul Habir Azad will chair the meeting and announce the final decision about crescent sighting or otherwise. The zonal and district Ruwate Halal committees meetings will also be held at their respective headquarters. Listeners, this is Radio Pakistan. Moving forward, Oil and Gas Regulatory Authority has reduced the price of liquefied petroleum gas by 180.28 rupees per 11.8 kg cylinder. According to notification, the authority reduced the locally produced LPG price by 15.27 rupees per kilogram. After the revised price, the LPG cylinder would be sold in the open market at 2,735.83 rupees. The Emergency Operations Center of the Provincial Disaster Management Authority will remain operational during Eid al-Fitr holidays. According to the Director General, Provincial Disaster Management Authority, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, keeping in view the forecast of rain and any emergent situation, the Emergency Operations Center will remain fully operational during Eid, present on duty for provision of services, guidance and other facilities to general public. Indian troops in their unabated acts of state terrorism martyred 26 Kashmiris, including 3 teenagers in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir during the last month of April. According to the data issued by Kashmir Media Service today, during the month, at least 7 youth were injured in brute use of force by Indian police and parliamentary troops on peaceful demonstrations. During the period, Indian Army, Parliamentary Central Reserve Police Force and dreaded National Investigation Agency arrested 109 civilians, including Hurriyat leaders Mushtaq ul Islam and Abdul Samad in Kalawi. Many of the detainees were booked under black laws, unlawful activities, destroyed a dozen houses and structures in 143 so-called cordon search operations in the month. Meanwhile, the Eid al-Fitr prayers are unlikely to take place at historic Eidgah as well as Jamia Masjid in Srinagar this year, as the authorities fear anti-India sloganeering and protest after the congressional prayers. Afghanistan's Supreme Leader Habatullah Akhundzada has made a rare appearance to mark Eid al-Fitr. In his second appearance since taking over Taliban in 2016, he addressed thousands of worshippers at the Eidgah Mosque in the Kandahar city today. They congratulated them on victory, freedom and success. Taliban Supreme Leader hailed the security situation in Afghanistan. The 2-hour-long event was held in tight security and Taliban officers did not allow journalists to approach their Supreme Leader. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba held a telephonic conversation to discuss the return of the U.S. diplomats to Ukraine and the U.S. government's request to Congress to authorize additional of $33 billion aid to Kyiv. U.S. Department of State spokesperson Ned Price, after the talks, said the secretary provided an update on plans for U.S. diplomats to return to Ukraine. And finally, the weather report. Hot and dry weather expected in most parts of the country, while very hot in plain areas during the next 12 hours. However, a light rain with wind and thunderstorm expected at isolated places in Balochistan, South Punjab and Sindh. Once again, we'll look into the main headlines. Prime Minister and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi held extensive consultations on range of bilateral, regional and international issues in Abu Dhabi today. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have agreed on the need to achieve security and stability in Afghanistan to prevent the use of Afghan land as a shelter for terrorist groups. President and Prime Minister in their separate message on International Labour Day have reiterated Pakistan's commitment to provide enabling environment to all workers and their families. The Central Ruwate Halal Committee meets in Islamabad in a short while for sighting the crescent of Shawwal 1443 after Hijrat. That is the end of the news. For more news analysis, you can always log on to our website radio.gov.pk. You can also watch live video streaming of our bulletin, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan.